What if I told you that a player, standing at just 5 feet 8 inches, coming not from an American basketball powerhouse, but from the quiet streets of Yokohama, Japan, managed to infiltrate the gates of the most elite, unforgiving, and competitive basketball league on earth? The NBA? You'd probably say, no way. After all, this is a league that worships athleticism, wingspan, and raw physical dominance. A world where 7-footers are like eagles, and guards are expected to be both lightning fast and explosively powerful. It's a universe that's chewed up and spit out some of the best players the world has ever seen, even those who tick all the boxes physically. Now imagine trying to break into this world when you're barely taller than the average person, when English isn't your first language, and when you never even played a single game of college basketball in the U.S. That's not just unlikely. That's nearly impossible. But somehow, against every odd, Yuki Kawamura did exactly that. In an era where international players have begun to leave their mark, Kawamura's journey is different. He's not a 7-foot sensation from Europe. He's not a viral dunker from an AAU mixtape. He's a 5 feet 8 inches floor general who built his name in the B-League, far from the spotlight of ESPN or March Madness. And yet, here he is, standing toe-to-toe with NBA stars, not just surviving, but earning respect. What drives a player like that? Grit, relentlessness, and a belief that being overlooked is a weapon, not a weakness. Kawamura isn't just playing for stats. He's playing to rewrite what's possible. In a league where physical dominance is often seen as the key to success, Kawamura is reminding the world of a different truth, that basketball IQ, heart, and pure unshakable can level any playing field. This isn't just a basketball story. It's a human one. A tale of a young man who dared to believe in his dream, no matter how far-fetched it seemed. And now, every time he steps on that NBA hardwood, he's not just representing himself. He's carrying the dreams of an entire nation on his shoulders and showing the world that the size of your heart matters more than the size of your frame. This is the story of Yuki Kawamura, the Japanese underdog who conquered the NBA. The NBA is a stage reserved for the best of the best. Traditionally, the path to get there involves U.S. colleges, keen-eyed scouts, and years of preparation within the American basketball system. But sometimes, stories emerge that defy every odd. And one such story is that of Yuki Kawamura, a young Japanese guard who beat the stats and is winning fans over with his skill, speed, and court vision. To truly understand the significance of Yuki Kawamura's rise to prominence, we need to take a step back and look at the environment that shaped him. Japan is often associated with traditional sports like baseball and sumo, which have long been the pillars of the country's sporting identity. However, basketball has been steadily carving out its own place in the hearts of young Japanese athletes, and the winds of change have been blowing strong in recent years. The rise of basketball in Japan can be traced to several key factors. Anime like Slam Dunk, which captured the imaginations of countless young fans, has played an enormous role in inspiring a generation to pick up basketball. The series, with its dramatic storytelling and iconic characters, helped cultivate a deep cultural connection to the sport. It was more than just a TV show. It sparked a nationwide interest, with kids dreaming of becoming the next Hanamichi Sakuragi or Kid Rukua. Moreover, the real-world success of players like Rui Hachimura, the first Japanese player to be drafted in the NBA's first round, provided a tangible example of what could be achieved. Hachimura's success not only boosted the profile of Japanese basketball, but also served as a beacon of hope for those who shared the same dream of reaching the NBA. The country started to realize that basketball wasn't just an American pastime. It was a global one. Amidst this evolving basketball landscape, Yuki Kawamura was born on May 2, 2001, in the small city of Yanai, located in Yamaguchi Prefecture, Japan. While the region isn't typically known for producing NBA-caliber talent, Kawamura's passion for the sport set him apart early on. From a very young age, his family could see that basketball wasn't just a hobby for him. It was a calling. His love for the game was unmistakable, and he quickly began to immerse himself in it, practicing endlessly and refining his skills. As a child, Kawamura's idol was Yuki Togashi, another undersized Japanese point guard who had achieved success at the professional level. Togashi, who stood just 5 feet 7 inches tall, became the living proof for Kawamura that height wasn't a determining factor in achieving greatness on the basketball court. Togashi's career was a beacon of possibility, showing Kawamura that skill, heart, and intelligence could transcend the limitations imposed by physical stature. Inspired by Togashi's journey, Kawamura set out to carve his own path. He enrolled at Fukuoka Daisha High School, a place where he would begin his formal basketball career. It didn't take long for him to make a name for himself. By the time he was just 16 years old, Kawamura was already leading his team to back-to-back national championships, a truly remarkable feat for someone of his size. His speed, vision, and understanding of the game allowed him to outthink and outplay opponents much taller and more athletic than him. It was clear to everyone watching, Japan had a new basketball star in the making. To the Japanese basketball community, Kawamura's success was not just a personal achievement. It was a reflection of the broader growth of the sport within the country. His national titles, his skill, and his relentless drive to push past boundaries were symbolic of the rise of basketball in Japan as a whole. As more and more young players began to emulate his playing style and take basketball seriously, the sport's presence in Japan grew stronger, eventually culminating in an undeniable demand for a Japanese player to make waves on the international stage. At this stage, Kawamura was not just a local hero. He was an emerging figure in the global basketball scene. Japan's investment in basketball infrastructure and youth development was starting to pay off, and Kawamura was one of the first to take full advantage of this growing movement. He was no longer a hopeful, aspiring player. He was an undeniable talent with the potential to change the face of Japanese basketball forever. By the time he was 18, Kawamura had already shown that he was a player to be reckoned with, and his rise was only beginning. Yuki Kawamura's journey to professional basketball success is not the traditional route most players take, especially when compared to those who dream of making it to the NBA. Unlike many aspiring players, Kawamura never played college basketball in the United States, a standard path for those aiming for the NBA. Moreover, he didn't enter the NBA draft, where players are selected to join NBA teams based on their performance in college or overseas leagues. Instead, Kawamura carved out a different and equally remarkable path, one that reflects the evolving landscape of professional basketball in Japan. In a move that defied convention, Kawamura entered Japan's B-League through a system known as the Special Designated Player Program. This system was specifically designed to give Japan's most promising basketball talents the chance to play professionally before turning 22. It allows young players to bypass the traditional route of playing in college or waiting for the NBA draft, providing them with an opportunity to develop their skills in competitive league without being bound by age or eligibility requirements. It's a pathway that has created unique opportunities for emerging stars like Kawamura, enabling them to get a head start in their professional careers. At just 18 years old, Kawamura made his debut in Japan's B-League. He scored his first professional point, marking the beginning of what would become an incredibly impressive journey. However, what sets Kawamura apart from many others is not just his ability to score, but his immediate impact on the court. His agility, court vision, and basketball IQ allowed him to make plays that were beyond his years, quickly catching the attention of fans and critics alike. As his career progressed, the numbers only got better. By the 2022/2023 season, Kawamura was no longer just a promising prospect. He was a bona fide star in the B-League. In his first season under a full professional contract, he posted impressive averages of 19.5 points and 8.4 assists per game. These numbers alone would have been enough to make him stand out. But what truly solidified his status was the recognition he received from the league and his peers. Kawamura's performance that season earned him 2 major accolades, Rookie of the Year and League MVP. To put this achievement into perspective, winning both honors in the same season is a rare feat in any professional league, and it's especially remarkable in the B-League, which has no shortage of talented players. For Kawamura, this wasn't just about individual success. It was a testament to the hard work, dedication, and raw talent that he had poured into his game from a young age. It was also a sign that the B-League and Japanese basketball in general was on the rise, with players like Kawamura leading the charge. These honors were not just symbolic. They spoke volumes about Kawamura's ability to thrive under pressure and compete at the highest levels. His league MVP award was particularly groundbreaking because it underscored his overall impact on his team and the league as a whole. As one of the youngest players to ever achieve such recognition, Kawamura proved that age and experience aren't always the determining factors in basketball success. Heart, vision, and determination can make all the difference. The impact of Kawamura's success extends far beyond his personal achievements. His rise in the B-League is seen as a reflection of Japan's growing presence in international basketball. It also highlights a shift in how Japanese players are perceived, not just as local stars, but as serious contenders in the global basketball scene. Kawamura's success has inspired a new generation of players in Japan who now see the possibility of making a name for themselves on the world stage. Moreover, Kawamura's ability to adapt and succeed in a competitive professional environment without the traditional college experience speaks volumes about his unique skill set. His rapid rise in the B-League has put him on the radar of international scouts and NBA teams, and while he's yet to make the leap to the NBA, his trajectory suggests that he could one day take that next step. As of now, Kawamura's journey remains a testament to the power of grit and dedication in the world of basketball. His story is an inspiration not only to young players in Japan, but to anyone who dreams of defying the odds and proving that, with enough heart and hard work, you can accomplish the extraordinary. Yuki Kawamura's rapid rise in the basketball world has prompted a range of different perspectives and interpretations. His success is not just about his individual achievements, but also about how he represents the evolution of the sport on a global scale. There are multiple ways to view Kawamura's impact on the game, each providing a unique angle on what his journey means for basketball fans and aspiring players around the world. For some, Kawamura is seen as a one-of-a-kind prodigy. His story is remarkable because he defied the physical limitations that many thought would hold him back. At just 5 feet 8 inches, Kawamura is significantly shorter than most of his NBA counterparts, yet his skills, basketball IQ, and determination have allowed him to thrive in environments that demand athleticism and height. This aspect of his game resonates deeply with fans who have always believed that skill and heart can trump physical stature. Kawamura is an embodiment of the idea that mental toughness, creativity, and court vision are just as important, if not more important, than size and strength. His ability to outthink and outmaneuver bigger opponents has made him a standout, challenging the long-held belief that height is a necessary requirement for success at the highest levels of basketball. On the other hand, there are those who view Kawamura not just as an individual talent, but as a symbol of the future of basketball, a globalized game where exceptional talent can emerge from any corner of the world. Kawamura's rise showcases the changing dynamics of the sport. In the past, many basketball players from outside of North America had to follow a very specific path to reach the NBA. College basketball in the U.S. was often seen as the only legitimate route. However, Kawamura's journey exemplifies a shift toward a more open and interconnected world of basketball, where players from various countries and backgrounds can find success on the global stage. This global trend is not new. The NBA has long been a melting pot of international talent, and its embrace of players from all over the world has transformed the league into a truly international spectacle. Stars like Giannis Antetokounmpo, who was born in Greece, Luka Doncic from Slovenia, and Joel Embiid from Cameroon have become some of the most dominant figures in the league, proving that talent knows no borders. These players have not only succeeded in the NBA, but have also helped elevate the visibility of basketball in their home countries, inspiring countless young players who previously had little to no exposure to the NBA. Kawamura's success is part of this evolving landscape. Just as Giannis, Luka, and Embiid showed that basketball talent can come from Europe, Africa, and beyond, Kawamura is proving that Asia, too, can be a wellspring of elite basketball players. Japan, in particular, has become an increasingly important player in the global basketball conversation, thanks in no small part to Kawamura's rise. His journey is an inspiration to young players in Japan, China, and across Asia, showing them that they, too, have the potential to compete at the highest levels. Moreover, Kawamura's development within Japan's B-League speaks to the rise of domestic professional leagues as legitimate stepping stones for players aiming to make a name for themselves internationally. These leagues are no longer viewed as secondary to the NBA, but as important platforms for player development, with increasing numbers of scouts and NBA teams looking to international leagues for hidden gems like Kawamura. Looking ahead, Kawamura's trajectory suggests that he might one day join the ranks of the NBA's international stars. While he has yet to make the jump, his performance in the B-League has shown that he has the potential to compete at the highest level. If Kawamura does make his way to the NBA, he could very well follow in the footsteps of the aforementioned international players, further proving that the NBA's borders are expanding. His success story is a testament to the idea that basketball talent is universal. It doesn't matter where you come from, only what you bring to the court. In essence, Kawamura's journey embodies a global shift in the basketball world. It's no longer just about who dominates the U.S. basketball scene, but about how the sport is thriving in every corner of the world. Whether viewed as a unique prodigy or a symbol of a broader, more inclusive basketball future, Kawamura's rise has added a new chapter to the story of how basketball is becoming a truly global game. And who knows? Maybe Kawamura is the next name in line to join the elite lineage of international players who have redefined what it means to be an NBA superstar. Yuki Kawamura's journey is creating a ripple effect far beyond the confines of Japan. His story is more than just a personal triumph. It's a game changer for the basketball landscape, not only in his home country, but across the globe. Kawamura is proving that height is not the only metric of a player's potential, and his success is inspiring a wave of new talent to pursue their dreams in the sport, especially in regions where basketball has often played second fiddle to other sports like baseball and sumo. In Japan, Kawamura's rise has sparked a national conversation, and his impact is being felt in multiple ways. For one, he has inspired a whole new generation of young Japanese athletes. Boys and girls who once thought that the NBA was out of reach for them because they didn't have the height or physicality typically associated with the league, now see Kawamura as a shining example that success is not determined by physical stature alone. His story is opening doors for aspiring players to dream bigger and push further, with a belief that hard work, intelligence, and a love for the game can make all the difference. Kawamura's success is also shining a much-needed spotlight on Japan's B-League, the country's top-tier professional basketball league. Until recently, the B-League had not been as widely recognized on a global stage as leagues in Europe or the NBA. However, Kawamura's exceptional performance has drawn significant international attention, putting the B-League on the map as a league capable of developing top-tier talent. As Kawamura continues to excel, the league itself is gaining more visibility and respect. His story is a perfect example of how leagues outside the traditional basketball powerhouses can produce future stars, making the global basketball ecosystem more interconnected. The media in Japan has been quick to recognize and celebrate Kawamura's accomplishments. His games are being broadcast to wider audiences, reaching not just basketball fans, but also a more general population who are captivated by his underdog story. His success has made him a household name, and the Japanese media is overflowing with pride, constantly reporting on his achievements and following his every move. This media spotlight has led to a significant increase in interest around Japanese basketball, with more fans tuning in to watch his games and learn about the sport. As a result, merchandise sales related to Kawamura and his team have surged. Fans, young and old, are eager to wear jerseys, caps, and other gear in support of the rising star. The B.League's teams are benefiting not only from increased ticket sales and viewership, but also from a renewed sense of pride in the national basketball scene. It's becoming evident that Kawamura's influence extends beyond just the court. He is revitalizing the culture of basketball in Japan, helping to build a larger, more engaged fan base. Kawamura's presence in the B-League is also contributing to a broader shift in the way basketball is played worldwide. On a technical level, his success highlights how modern basketball places a greater emphasis on court IQ, vision, and three-point shooting, as opposed to simply relying on brute strength and athleticism. Kawamura's rise is a testament to how the game has evolved. In an era where the NBA and other top leagues are moving away from traditional post-up play and focusing on faster, more fluid styles of play, Kawamura's skill set fits perfectly into this new wave of basketball. His high basketball IQ, ability to read the game, and elite passing make him a valuable asset in a league that increasingly favors versatility and smart decision-making. The emphasis on three-point shooting and spacing the floor has become a defining feature of modern basketball, and Kawamura's ability to knock down shots from beyond the arc has further solidified his place in the current basketball landscape. His ability to shoot efficiently from long range, combined with his court vision and leadership on the floor, shows that players who excel in these areas can thrive even without the physical dominance typically associated with elite players. Moreover, Kawamura's success is an indication of how the game of basketball is becoming more skill-based, allowing players to showcase their unique talents and abilities. Whether it is ball handling, his knack for finding teammates in the right spots, or his ability to create plays in transition, Kawamura is helping to set the standard for the next generation of basketball players who will prioritize intelligence over physicality. In essence, Kawamura's impact on both Japan and global basketball is profound. He is inspiring a new wave of players, elevating Japan's domestic league, and showing the world that success in basketball isn't just about size or athleticism. It's about intelligence, work ethic, and heart. His journey has set the stage for a new era in basketball, one where players from all over the world can break into the sport's elite ranks, regardless of where they come from or how tall they stand. How many times in your life have you faced doubts or criticisms based on something you couldn't control? Whether it was your height, background, or circumstances, there's always something that others might say disqualifies you from achieving greatness. Yuki Kawamura has heard all of those doubts, but he chose to defy them through his journey. He has shown us that determination, perseverance, and the refusal to accept limitations are the true drivers of success. Kawamura's rise from being an overlooked, undersized player to breaking into the world's most prestigious basketball league is a reminder that success is not defined by the things that people may see as obstacles, but by how we respond to them. His story teaches us an invaluable lesson. The true measure of a person or a player lies far beyond physical stats. While talent and physical attributes play a role in any sport, Kawamura's journey proves that what really matters is willpower, consistency, and passion. His ability to rise above his perceived limitations and prove the doubters wrong resonates with anyone who has ever been told they couldn't achieve their dreams. In a world that often seems obsessed with physicality and appearances, Kawamura flips that narrative. At just 5 feet 8 inches, he didn't fit the prototype of an NBA player. But instead of letting this hinder him, he leaned into his strengths. His exceptional basketball IQ, his drive to improve every single day, and his love for the game. He worked relentlessly on his craft, improving his shooting, his passing, and his overall understanding of the game. Through this dedication, he made a name for himself in Japan's B-League and earned the attention of the basketball world. His story goes far beyond basketball. It's about resilience in the face of adversity. How many of us have had to overcome personal doubts or face external pressures that told us we weren't good enough? Yuki Kawamura's story is an invitation to anyone who has ever faced these challenges to keep pushing forward. He proves that when you refuse to let the circumstances define you, you have the power to rewrite your own story. The question then becomes, if Kawamura, at 5 feet 8 inches, can dominate a league that's been traditionally filled with players much taller and more physically imposing, what's holding you back from chasing your own dreams? His story is a powerful reminder that anything is possible if you have the passion to fuel your ambitions, the consistency to overcome setbacks, and the determination to keep going when things get tough. Kawamura isn't just an inspiration for aspiring basketball players. He's an inspiration for anyone who has ever felt like the odds were stacked against them. So, take a moment to reflect. What dreams have you put on hold because of perceived limitations? What would happen if you chose to pursue those dreams with the same fierce determination that Kawamura has shown on his journey? The world needs more stories like his, stories of resilience, passion, and a refusal to be held back. If Yuki Kawamura can defy the odds and make history, there's nothing stopping you from doing the same. Yuki Kawamura's journey doesn't just provide inspiration for players who are underdogs in their own right, but also challenges the traditional systems that scout and develop talent. His rise to prominence raises a fundamental question for the global sports world. Are we looking in the right places for talent? While the United States has long been considered the epicenter of basketball development, Kawamura's story reveals how the global basketball scene is evolving and how we might be missing out on untapped potential around the world. One of the most pressing issues is the narrow athletic mold that many scouting systems tend to focus on. For years, basketball and many other sports have been heavily reliant on a prototype: tall, athletic, fast, and physically dominant. This has created an environment where players who don't fit that mold are often overlooked. Kawamura, at just 5 feet 8 inches, didn't fit the traditional physical expectations of a basketball star, yet his skills, intelligence, and work ethic have earned him a place in the spotlight. But how many other players with similar untapped potential are still waiting for their shot, simply because they don't meet the standard criteria? This is where change can come in. It's clear that we need to rethink the traditional talent identification and development process. If scouts, coaches, and decision-makers are still focusing on the same physical attributes, they may miss out on players who excel in other areas, such as basketball IQ, court vision, or mental toughness. Kawamura's story demonstrates that the sport needs to evolve and become more inclusive, opening doors to players from all walks of life, backgrounds, and physical types. One possible solution would be to invest in more global talent discovery programs. Basketball is played all over the world, and there are countless countries where the game is growing in popularity and competitiveness. By building a global network of scouts and development programs, the NBA and other professional leagues could tap into a wider pool of talent. Countries like Japan, the Philippines, and several nations in Africa have burgeoning basketball scenes, but their talents may not be getting the exposure they deserve. By expanding scouting efforts beyond the U.S., leagues like the NBA could uncover new stars who might otherwise have gone unnoticed. Another potential solution lies in supporting youth leagues outside the U.S. In countries like Japan, basketball programs are beginning to flourish, but they still lack the infrastructure and resources available to young players in the U.S. If there were greater investment in grassroots basketball around the world, we could see more players like Kawamura making their way to professional leagues. This could mean funding for better coaching, training facilities, and competitions, all of which will allow young players to develop to their fullest potential and reach their goals. Additionally, encouraging cultural exchange in the sport could benefit everyone involved. The NBA has already made strides in bringing in international players, but there is still room for growth. By fostering more international player exchanges and encouraging collaboration between players, coaches, and staff from different countries, the sport can be enriched with diverse playing styles, perspectives, and approaches. This can not only help develop global talent, but also lead to more cross-cultural understanding and innovation within the sport itself. The NBA, like many other professional sports leagues, has the potential to be more inclusive, diverse, and rich in talent if it chooses to look beyond the obvious. By broadening the definition of what makes a player valuable, the league could uncover new pathways for underrepresented players to succeed. This would involve embracing players who may not fit the traditional mold, but excel in other, equally important areas of the game. Imagine a future where the NBA isn't just dominated by players who fit the typical height and athleticism profiles, but one where the focus shifts to diverse skill sets, mental agility, and unique basketball IQ. This would not only elevate the global basketball scene, but also encourage a more inclusive culture, one that values players for their individual strengths rather than their ability to conform to a narrow set of standards. Kawamura's success proves that there's no one way to make it in professional basketball. The game has room for players from all backgrounds and physical types, as long as they have the passion, talent, and work ethic to back it up. Kawamura's rise is a call to action. It's time for a shift in how we scout, evaluate, and develop talent. The traditional path is no longer the only path to success. If we embrace diversity, inclusivity, and global perspectives, the world of sports could be richer, more exciting, and more full of unexpected stories like Kawamura's. After all, talent isn't bound by borders, and neither should the game be. Yuki Kawamura's journey, though still in its early stages, has already etched its mark in basketball history. He's not just a player. He's a living testament to defying expectations and challenging the conventional wisdom that greatness in basketball is reserved for physically dominant. Kawamura is a beacon of possibility, reminding us that limits, both in sports and life, are often self-imposed, and they can be shattered with determination, skill, and a relentless spirit. When we think of basketball, we tend to imagine towering figures, players who seem to defy gravity with their athleticism and strength. The NBA, after all, has been historically dominated by players who stand above 6 feet 7 inches, with unmatched physical prowess. Yet, Kawamura is rewriting the narrative. Standing at just 5 feet 8 inches, he has taken on the giants of the game, both literal and figurative, and shown the world that true greatness is not about size or strength alone. It's about heart, intelligence, and perseverance. In a sport that often celebrates the physical over cerebral, Kawamura's rise is a reminder that basketball is not just a game of muscles and height. It's a game of strategy, vision, and mindset. He's proving that even in a world of giants, sometimes the smallest player can make the biggest impact. The story of Kawamura is a reflection of the larger story of underdogs everywhere, where passion and persistence win out over physical limitations. But what does this mean for the future? Kawamura's rise is more than just a personal triumph. It's a potential start of a larger cultural shift in basketball. We are witnessing the dawn of a new era where skill and intellect are just as important as size and speed. If Kawamura continues to perform at this level, we may see the emergence of a new breed of player. Ones who aren't defined by their physical attributes, but by their basketball IQ, vision, and determination. So, the question isn't just whether Kawamura will succeed, it's whether we are seeing the birth of the next global basketball superstar. Is this the start of a new wave of players who challenge the conventional standards of talent and who redefine what it means to be successful on the court? Kawamura is still at the beginning of his career, but the path he's already blazed is undeniable. His story is not just inspiring, it's transformational. He's not just breaking barriers in basketball, but also in how we think about the game and what it takes to succeed. As his journey unfolds, one thing is certain. Yuki Kawamura's impact will be felt far beyond Japan, and his story will inspire countless others to chase their dreams, no matter how improbable they may seem. The NBA and the world of basketball may just be on the verge of witnessing the rise of a new superstar, and it all started with one player who believed that being small didn't mean you couldn't make a huge impact. If Yuki Kawamura's incredible rise from a 5 feet 8 inches underdog to a potential NBA star has inspired you, now is the time to show your support. Don't just be a passive viewer. Become a part of this story of resilience and overcoming odds. Hit that like button to let us know that you believe in the power of determination and grit. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel so you can continue to follow along with inspiring journeys like Kawamura's. You don't want to miss the amazing stories we have lined up next. But that's not all. Turn on the notification bell to stay up to date with all our latest content. We bring you the best stories of underdogs, triumphs, and breakthroughs, and you won't want to miss a single one. We also want to hear from you. Drop a comment below and share your thoughts on Kawamura's incredible journey. How do you think his rise is changing the world of basketball? Do you have any other sports stories that have inspired you or stories you'd love to see us cover? Whether it's another athlete who defied the odds or a moment that changed the game forever, let us know. We're here to celebrate every victory, big or small. Let's spread inspiration together and continue proving that the impossible is just a matter of perspective. With Kawamura leading the way, we are reminded that no dream is too big and no obstacle is too daunting. We're all capable of greatness, and it's up to us to take that first step, just like Kawamura did.